Samsung's era of being outperformed by Apple, particularly in terms of phone performance, may have come to an end. During our testing of the S24 Ultra, we have received the benchmark results that suggest that Samsung's latest flagship phones might be a match for Apple's top-of-the-line iPhones. In the past, Samsung's Galaxy S benchmarks have followed a familiar pattern. While Samsung's phones have posted the best numbers of any Android device, they have lagged far behind the iPhone and their Apple-designed A-series chips. However, the Galaxy S24 Ultra with its Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 has broken that pattern. On a couple of key performance tests, the S24 Ultra has outperformed the iPhone 15 Pro, Apple's top-performing phone. However, the A17 Pro-powered iPhone still came out on top in other areas, so this battle of the best phones is a really close fight. This is good news for the S24 and S24 Plus, particularly in North America. These phones also run on the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, so we would expect similar results to what the Ultra just produced. In other parts of the world, these 24 and S24 Plus feature an Exynos 2400 system on chip, and we are yet to know how these phones will perform. These results may be a wake-up call for Apple. While the iPhone 15 Pro models are still fast phones and complete tasks faster than the S24 Ultra in testing, Apple can no longer claim to build the undisputed speed champion among mobile devices. The credit for the performance of the S24 Ultra goes to the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. However, Samsung's 12 GB memory also contributes to the phone's performance. In comparison, the iPhone 15 Pro only uses 8 GB of RAM, as Apple doesn't list the memory included with its devices. Here's a comparison of the internal components of the S24 Ultra and other top phones it competes with, including the S23 Ultra that it replaces in Samsung's lineup. Geekbench has declared Samsung and Apple devices as a tie in terms of performance. However, traditionally, Apple has always dominated in overall performance. But now, Samsung has something to be happy about as its phone has come out on top in one aspect. The test results of the single-core test in Geekbench 6 show that the iPhone 15 performed better with a score of 2,890 as compared to S24 Ultra's 2,300. The Ultra model's single-core test has improved by 10% in comparison to the S23 Ultra, which uses a Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 system on chip. It's the Geekbench 6 multi-core test where the S24 Ultra showcased spectacular performance gains. Samsung's phone scored 7,249, which is slightly higher than the iPhone 15 Pro score of 7,194. It's interesting to note that the iPhone 15 Pro Max scored lower in Geekbench as compared to the Pro model. Although the difference is not noticeable when the phones are operated side by side, it's still a significant achievement for Samsung to be in the same league as Apple, let alone surpassing it by a small margin. Apple's cheaper flagship models are powered by a 16 Bionic, and despite outperforming the S24 Ultra's single-core score, the iPhone 15 Plus fell behind in the multi-core test. The ROG Phone 8 Pro is another Android device that uses Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 processor, but its single and multi-core Geekbench results were lower than what the S24 Ultra achieved. It is likely that the version of Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 in the S24 Ultra has been overclocked, similar to last year's Snapdragon 8 Gen 2. The Wildlife Unlimited test by 3D Mark is used to determine the GPU performance of a chipset by running a graphics-heavy test and calculating the frames per second produced by each phone. The higher the FPS, the better the score. It is no surprise that the S24 Ultra outperforms other phones in this test, given its impressive results last year with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2's GPU improvements. The upgraded Galaxy S24 Ultra has also set a new benchmark in the Wildlife Unlimited test. The S24 Ultra performed exceptionally well with a Wildlife Unlimited score of 123.5 frames per second, which is a 31% improvement over the iPhone 15 Pro's 94.3 and better than the 110.1 result of the Asus ROG Phone 8 Pro, a handset specifically designed for gaming. We conducted a real-world test on phones using Adobe Premiere Rush to transcode a 4K video clip to 1080p and time the results. Usually, the iPhone dominates this test in terms of performance. Despite all the other performance improvements made by the S24 Ultra, the iPhone still outperforms it in this regard. The S24 Ultra took an average of 42 seconds to transcode the video, which is 3 seconds slower than the S23 Ultra's time from last year. Unfortunately, we couldn't run the test on the Asus ROG Phone 8 Pro as Premiere Rush crashed a few seconds into the operation. To put it simply, the iPhone is still the clear winner here. Whether you opt for the A17 Pro-powered Pro model, 25.5 seconds, or one of the A16 Bionic-powered models, 24.5 seconds on the iPhone 15 Plus, the iPhone consistently outperforms the competition. Even the iPhone 15 Pro Max posted a 24.5-second result on this test, so Apple's phones perform consistently well in this area. Although the video transcoding result of the S24 Ultra wasn't very impressive, it still managed to outperform any other Android phone we've tested so far. It even surpassed the fastest iPhone in some aspects. When coupled with the S24 Ultra's excellent battery life performance, only 2 gaming phones from Asus rank higher than the S24 Ultra on our list of best phone batteries. It becomes apparent that upgrading to a Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 is a significant improvement in Samsung's hardware. Now it's Apple's turn to respond with the chips powering the iPhone 16 models this fall. Reports suggest that each phone will feature a new A18 chipset, with the iPhone 16 Pro and iPhone 16 Pro Max expected to have even more powerful versions. What do you think about this competition between Samsung and Apple? Which phone are you more excited about? Let us know in the comments below. Then I will see you in my next video.